Do you want to know how to deal with Bristow and Sutor bailiffs if they come knocking at your door? I'll tell you exactly what they can and can't do so that you can handle the situation without panicking. You're not going to see bailiffs unless you've not paid a debt that you've been legally obligated to pay by a court. This usually happens after you've received something called a CCJ, a county court judgment. You get this after you've defaulted on a debt, and now this is the court saying, hey, you owe this money. Bristow and Sutor bailiffs don't just collect any debt. We're talking about specific types like council tax, non-domestic rates and penalty charge notices. You'll get a heads up before the bailiffs show up, and you should receive something called a notice of enforcement. Now, this letter is basically telling you, we're coming unless you pay up. You've got 7 days from receiving this notice before they can actually show up at your place. If you can afford to pay in full, or at least put down an initial lump sum, make sure you call the enforcement agents. The contact details will be right there on the notice of enforcement. Trust me, it's better to sort this out over the phone than having them come over. You can even avoid additional fees this way. There are exceptions for certain vulnerable individuals. If you're disabled, seriously or terminally ill, pregnant or have severe mental health problems, Bristow and Sutor bailiffs shouldn't be forcing their way into your home. So if any of these situations do apply to you, then make sure you let them know immediately. Worst case scenario, they're at your door. They can only visit you between 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. Don't let them in. You don't have to. And you just need to make sure that the doors and the windows are closed. You can chat to them through the letterbox, so leave any paperwork that you need by the door. They'll start talking about payment options while also scanning for assets to seize. They can take your valuables, but they can't help themselves to anything that they want. They can't take what you need for basic livings. They can't take things like kitchen appliances, beds, or work-related items. They'll usually look for things that they can sell easily, like electronics, jewellery and vehicles, and they can't take anything that belongs to somebody else. Hide your car somewhere safe. Put it in a friend's garage or somewhere on private land where they can't get to it. If you lease your car, have all the relevant paperwork next to the door to prove that it doesn't financially belong to you. Bristow and Sutor bailiffs can't just go smashing your windows or breaking down your door to get in. There are very limited circumstances where they can force entry, and even then it's a lengthy legal process to get those permissions. Make sure they prove who they are. They should have a warrant of possession, ID, and proof of the debt. Most of the time you'll see this information on a device because we're in a digital age now, aren't we? The best way to get rid of Bristow and Sutor bailiffs is by paying your debt and then putting it all behind you. But sometimes it isn't that simple and you don't have access to any extra cash. Sometimes debts can start to build and you can find yourself financially struggling. If this is the case, then you might want to look into debt solutions. Some of them can lower monthly payments while others can write off some of your debt. The reality is that they all have their own pros and cons, and it's all about finding a solution that's suitable to your needs. I'll leave a form underneath this video and it'll ask you a few questions like how much you owe and how many people do you owe. And then at the end of the form, it'll connect you to a company that I've partnered with who can discuss your options with you. And if you do use that form, you'll be supporting Thrifty Family. So thanks.